Second Cup is brought to you by Roswell Park Comprehensive Care Center.
Hey everyone, good morning. It's 8 o'clock on the start of a Friday. Welcome to Second Cup. Take that deep breath. We have made it to the end of the week. And doesn't it feel good?
It feels great.
Feels fantastic. So happy to be here with our favorite cuppies, my favorite time of the day on my favorite day of the week. We made it to the end. So good morning. Thank you for hanging here with us. We got another guest this week.
My dear friend Cam Smith is here with us this morning from the Seneca Community Development Corporation. So glad you're with us, Cam. You guys have a major fundraiser coming up next week. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so it's May 15th, 5:30 to 7:30 at Flying Bison. It's a fun happy hour that gets the community together. We have live music. Tickets are $40. You get 2 drink tickets and dinner from Fat Bob's. But it's really just a day to get everybody out and have some fun in the sun, and just feel the sense of community that is represented in the Seneca Babcock community.
That's awesome. And so let's talk about the Seneca Babcock community in particular, because what I didn't realize and what you kind of pointed out before we started talking, Cam, was that this is one of the second most impoverished areas in the entire city.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is really stunning to me. And now you guys are just trying to help and fill that gap.
Yeah. So it's also, I forgot to mention this before too, but it's also defined as a food desert too for the city. So it's basically what the Seneca Street CDC does is it runs an after school program for the kids of the Seneca Babcock community. It's free. The kids get greeted after school with somebody to get them off the bus. They get a healthy snack, help with their homework, some enrichment activities, and then just a place to play, run, fun, and have fun, use up their energy.
It's free?
Free.
And that's why it's so important here. It's a good time, this fundraiser for a good cause, because this helps you guys provide that, these programs for these students. Talk more about that impact and what it does for these kids.
Yeah, it really gives the long support that they need, the leadership, not leadership, but mentorship that they might be missing, or guidance they might be needing while they're going through school. Just looking at the stats of the students from last year, we had 86 students registered between the K through 8 program and the teen program.
Wow.
Of those students, 44% of them were coming from homes that were below the poverty line. If you want to take it a step further too, based on MIT livable wage standards for Erie County, 95% of the students were coming from homes that were below livable wages. So
the fact that you guys, and maybe talk about who's there in this program at the end of the day to get these kids off the bus, to give them a safe place to play.
Yeah, so we have a lot of part-time employees or volunteers that are showing up just to commit their time to it. We have a small staff in-house of 6 employees. And I'd also like to add too, for the past 15 years, we've had a full-time volunteer executive director.
Wow.
She's putting in just as much time as everybody else, showing true passion for the organization to really make sure it's succeeding, but even more the kids.
This is what James says. He says this is wonderful and necessary. Give us information about where we can find out, where we can donate if we're interested in helping this incredible nonprofit, and B, about the event.
Yeah, so we'll share a link to the event as well. If you are interested in donating to beyond this fundraiser, we have a giving page on our website. I really encourage everybody to go on there and check out to be a recurring monthly donor. Having that recurring revenue for a nonprofit, especially this size, is huge. Because you talk about the impact that they're doing right now with what they have, and what we're really trying to do and stretch. But let's pour some more into that and see what they could really do.
And you were saying as small as a $5 donation would go such a long way.
Yeah, take 1 cup of coffee that you're buying a month and pull away and give that back to the kids. And if we can all do that, it really adds up and makes an impact.
That's a good way to think about it too. It's just 1 cup of coffee, or that one lunch. Give that to the kids and talk about how the kids receive this kind of thing.
Look at their smiling faces.
They're so adorable. I mean, when you see them and when they're interacting with everyone, what's their reaction to having this resource?
It's amazing. I mean, when I've gone in there for the after school program, just seeing the sense of community between all the kids. A lot of them see it as a second home, and just having fun with their friends there. Right there, someone making honor roll. and having that support they need. They do a lot of cooking classes for the kids, talking about being in the food desert and not having access to nutritious food. So they'll have somebody come in and teach them how to cook and cook healthy foods.
That's a big deal too.
Too, because think of what that ingrains long term of good habits. So
here's James' question. Does the organization receive any government funding? I only ask because everyone fears budget cuts, and it's a nonprofit, so it's not only locally supported, but I'm sure that there's a way to get some funding from other agencies as well.
Yeah, so we have a huge array of grants that we have come in, and a lot of them are tied to government funds too. So like any nonprofit too that's feeling it right now. In the nonprofit community itself, everybody's feeling it right now, especially with government dollars. But yeah, so there is potential risk there, and so we're trying to expand and diversify our revenue set so we can kind of mitigate that risk.
Cindy says giving to our children is something that is needed and kind. It absolutely is. Cam, tell me about why it was important for you to become a volunteer in this community organization.
Yeah, so my story getting connected to the organization was I was in Leadership Buffalo class of 2019. Shout out, yeah. And my classmate was starting a program at the CDC. Everybody had gone there and done the visit, but he wanted Jason Holler, shout out, from Uplifter Video, but he saw a desire to expand programming for the kids. So he was going in and volunteering his time to teach the kids how to do video production. And he was telling me about the program. I was like, well, what do we need to make this sustainable? Like, what can we put on there to be long term? He's like, if we can put some equipment and software in the room, then the kids can do this while I'm not there. So I was like, let's do a small fundraiser and get that going. And it was a success. He was able to get the equipment he needed, and then the program could keep going past him.
Wow.
But beyond that, it just built a sense especially in our class from Leadership Buffalo, that we needed to stay connected to this organization, help them continue to develop or support them in times of need. So even during the start of COVID, we did a food drive for them. We've done other similar fundraisers, just if they had a cut in funding that we could do to help support them. So eventually Cheryl reached out and asked if I wanted to join the board. So I joined the board and then was put in as the fundraising lead. So
good for you.
But it's just there's other events that go on throughout the year too. They do a Christmas shop for the kids around the holidays, where the kids can come in and go and get gifts that they can get wrapped up for their family members. They do a Valentine's Day dance for the kids where DJ Anthony's come in.
DJ Anthony.
Yeah.
DJ Anthony. So much fun.
Yeah, so DJ Anthony would come in and do a dance, MC the dance for them. So they do a haunted house every Halloween for the kids. We just installed. The past 3 years we've been raising money to replace the playground in the back.
Wow.
That was parts of it were falling off, so we wanted to make sure it was. They had that place to play and run around and use up that energy because it's very important. I mean,
I love what Michael is saying here. Seneca CDC is an incredible place. Thank you for all you do. Highmark is a proud supporter. That's awesome.
Peter has a question here. He says, what's the age range for the kids in the program?
Yeah, so in the youth, like there's a K-8 program, and then they have a teens program. And the teens also come back over the summer too to help support the summer youth program, which is what the real focus of our fundraiser is next week too. I also got to give a shout out back there on Mike on the last comment too. We Highmark recently on their Blue Fund they supported our health equity program that we just started as well. So we now have a health equity coordinator that's focusing on the neighborhood specifically, and making sure we're teaching good habits, but also just seeing where there's some shortfalls and where we can help find some support to come in and build up the community as well.
Keep them happy and healthy.
Cam's got a heart of gold. So for him to really come out here and show and bring us into the world of the Seneca Street Community Development Corporation means so much to us. And thank you, Cam, for being with us. Give us one more time information about the event coming up next week at Flying Bison.
Yeah, so it's May 15th, Flying Bison, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Tickets are $40. You can there's links to it on our Facebook page, so you can get on there and buy your ticket. We're gonna have amazing raffles. We have a lot of support coming in from our general supporters that we have with the organization, but Buffalo Bills. We have autographed memorabilia, Sabres. We also have we have 2 TVs that we'll be raffling off, and then a large basket
Nice.
raffle. So
That's awesome.
it's gonna be a fun day, but we really want to give everybody a chance to feel the community that is the Seneca Babcock, and really have that chance to be a part of it. So we also have some amazing sponsors that are supporting it, and a big shout out to everybody that's been part of this journey for us. We're really just looking to take it to the next level. So,
Julie, I love this comment. When I was a child, that would have probably helped me stay out of trouble.
Exactly.
Understood. And Johnny, my boy in the back, our executive producer, he put a link to the Facebook here. So if you're interested in buying a ticket for this happy hour, supporting the Seneca Street Community Development Corporation, by all means, click that link. $40 goes a long way. But if you can't maybe swing that, I know everything is more expensive these days. So hard to make ends meet. A $5 donation on a recurring basis goes such a long way to keep these kids healthy, make programs sustainable, and to keep the future of this organization strong.
Can I just add one other thing too? Is just, I mean, in general too, with Buffalo, we're the city of good neighbors. There's so many nonprofits here, so just across the board, even if it's not Seneca Street CDC and there's a nonprofit that's special to you, reach out to them. Just see if you can help volunteer, because a lot of times they have staff members that are really stretching things out, and that volunteer somebody to come in and be an extra set of hands is huge. And we got to do this together, and that's Buffalo. I mean, let's do it.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Period.
Cam making a smile on this Friday morning, and if you are able to make it out
Cam
on
Smith,
Thursday,
everyone.
yes, for Cam.
Go Bills.
There you go, go Bills.
Cam also has Camgate, which is so funny during the football season, and he like runs this massive tailgate.
Huge.
It's so cool.
Huge.
Also, his wife, so funny. Shout out Sam. Sam is the coolest. But they have this Instagram page now going where it's like babysitter or no babysitter, their favorite childless millennials.
Child-free millennials.
Excuse me. Child-free
So
millennials.
you got to check that out. There's so much to enjoy.
There she
There's
is.
Sam. Celebrating Camgate.
So funny. All right, Cam, thank you so much. Oh my God, shout out to me.
Yes, Sam, shout
Sam.
Awesome.
Love Sam.
Thank you, Cam.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you. And make sure
Appreciate
you check out
you.
those links. Next Thursday is that fundraiser. A little bit goes a long way.
All right. So, Cam, don't go away because we have your microphone on, and John is going to come in and grab it from you. Let's talk about the Pope this morning, because holy cow, can you believe this guy is an American who was born and raised in Chicago?
The Pope is from Chicago, guys. The Pope has probably had deep dish pizza. The Pope went to college at Villanova in Philly. He's probably had Wawa. The Pope is a White Sox fan. This is just wild to me. And I think I'm just really energized by this. And we were saying earlier this morning, like, my dad's Catholic. I didn't grow up Catholic. You're Jewish.
Right. Big Jew.
We don't have, the deep connection to the Catholic faith, but we're so excited about this.
Right.
I think it really, for all of us as Americans, we needed something to root for all together. And this is our guy right now, it's really
Something
awesome.
to rally around. This is what I was thinking about. And I was having this conversation. Katie is up overnight feeding the baby. She's texting me this morning because she got no adult to talk to at that point. But the idea that this man has brothers who live in
like Tampa,
Chicago, right? That's number one. Number two, the idea that this ancient organization, this ancient philosophical place, the Vatican, now has a man from a country that is not even as old as the number of popes they've had.
Right. He's what, 270?
He's 267
267.
from a country that is what, 250 years old?
It's just so cool. Peter says, I heard the Pope also studied math, and I'm from Chicago. Yes, he studied math at Villanova, which is so cool. Kim says it was wonderful to watch, and I agree. I was in the newsroom when the news came in, and we saw that white smoke. The seagull is sitting there next to that chimney, and you see it come out of the Sistine Chapel. It happened quicker than I think a lot of us thought, and it happened to be an American, which is, not what anybody thought. If you saw, they were kind of like predicting. It's almost like the draft or something.
Right.
Like the Pope prospects, and nobody expected this guy. And they say he's like the least American because he spent a lot of his time in Peru. He speaks like 5 languages, but it's just cool to know that his origin is there. Oh, Lori's correcting me. He speaks 8 languages.
Crazy. Kim says, I think it's nice to have a younger Pope.
69.
Linda says, not sure I would know how to behave if that was my brother, right?
Oh
Like
my gosh,
the
yeah.
fact that your brother is the Pope. I was trying to put this into perspective this morning, and, just trying to wrap my brain around this, because really, when you think about the Pope, right, the Pope is this holy figure who, comes from a history of Catholicism and has a very structured past to get to that point of being the Pope and being elected by cardinals in that Sistine Chapel, in that room that is so secluded and very, very secret. But I was really trying to think about this and just kind of wrap my head around it, I guess, lack of a better term. The idea that an American can be the Pope, right? Like, it's not somebody who doesn't speak English or, comes from a historic place in that there is a medieval connection, a very storied place.
Well, you probably walked in the same footsteps as this guy.
And that's my point.
Been to Chicago, if you've been to the Philly area, obviously we know he's been probably all around America. He's been to South America. A lot of the other popes, like you said, they may not speak English or to hear him speak and he has an American accent when he speaks English. He's not some guy from over there. No, he's our guy. And like Julie said, she said when she first saw him, she was like, he's the man. And the first words out of his mouth are, peace be with you. And he's preaching love. And we know that he was very close with Pope Francis and the idea of looking out for the little guy, the marginalized people, the poor, and extending that helping hand. It just made me smile.
Well, so my point was really like the idea that you can now, the Pope often feels out of reach, out of touch, right? Like you can't
pontiff. It's
physically touch or be or feel connect. I mean, you could feel connected to the Pope, but like it's like an out of touch kind of thing. But now that he's come from places that we've all been, we can literally see ourselves in the Pope in some cases. I mean, like this guy wanted to be a priest all along, and to have walked in those footsteps, to have taken those steps, and now to have become and to have ascended to that point where he is now the supreme Catholic, right? Like he is the leader of the billion Catholics all around the world. He is it.
There was an American flag in the crowd, and there were so many flags in the crowd there at the Vatican. And, when you see America represented on this international stage, it just feels cool, and it just feels like a win. And to think that, his neighbor growing up said, hey, you could be the first American Pope. He was a kid walking around. He knew he was going to be a priest. It's something that he felt, I think, in his soul very early. I mean, that's just, so
calling
powerful.
From God,
so powerful, so spiritual. And now here he is. He did it.
Danielle, I agree. I was wondering the same thing. Like, so he's got brothers. Like, can the family now visit him at the Vatican?
Christmas at the Vatican.
Can you imagine?
They can do midnight mass and just go in and hang out with your brother,
with the Pope.
With
like
the Pope, the one
now you are. I know nothing about Catholicism other than like, the basics.
Get communion from him, probably.
Well, yeah, but like the idea that he is like in now serving in a line, like he is like, isn't he like the direct connection to God now? I don't know.
Someone tell us. Someone help us out a little. I mean, you can tell just in.
Like, this is mind-blowing for me.
It's huge. I mean, he's the leader of the Catholic Church. We're talking about, so many people from around the globe who are going to connect with him. And he's from America, which I just think is so cool. And I don't know, the process of it all, you watch the conclave and it's so secretive.
Right.
It's just got so much, around it. And I do wonder what the impact is going to be now. People have said, him being 69, him being younger than Pope Francis was when he was elected. We wonder if it'll bring younger people or younger families back to the Catholic Church. We talk so much about how people have gone away from going to church in general or practicing their faith or even associating with it. I wonder, whether it's his viewpoints or how he is as a leader, I wonder if this will kind of reignite that fire. And I wonder if people will start to come back.
John says he's the direct line with Peter. So can someone explain that to me?
Keep it going.
Please help me, Peter. John, help me, Peter. Help me, John.
There you go. Noreen says he has the weight of the world on his shoulders. I pray he has the strength. Love to see the good he can bring. You saw the video of him right after, he gives his speech, and he's just like standing there, and he looks like he's got like tears in his eyes. He's got that like slight smile.
And then how about the person who was there yesterday, maybe for one day only? And ABC News actually interviewed somebody. Maggie Rulli was there on the ground in Vatican City, and she spoke with a woman who comes directly from America, who was in Vatican City for literally one day, was getting a tour of the Vatican that morning and, thought, okay, it's going to be canceled because of what's going on here with the conclave. Turns out I don't think it was.
That's so cool.
But to have been there in that moment at that precise time to see the white smoke blowing out of the chimney and then to see the Pope come out on that balcony. I mean, does that not give you chills? I mean, even coming from a guy who's not Catholic, like this does not affect me in any ounce, but to watch the history play out is fascinating.
Yeah, the history of it all. And you know what, the spirituality in general, you can just feel it. And John's giving us the help here. Okay, so Peter was the first Pope. Christ himself instituted the church with Peter. So then he's got the direct line with Peter now.
Got it.
Leo the 14th, his official name.
How interesting.
Tina says it's refreshing, and I agree. I also wonder, I just want to be a fly on the wall during this whole process. I wanted to see the process, how the voting went, how they got to this point, and then, we saw video this morning of the moments after, they're clapping for him, enjoying. I'm like, what are those moments like? Like, is there a cake for the Pope? Are they able to pop a little bit of the wine in the back? Can they have a party? Is there a pizza? They're in Italy. I mean, I don't know. Get the Pope something, a little celebration.
Cindy brings up a good point. Maybe they won't close down Catholic churches. And we have a lot of that happening here in Western New York right now with the Road to Renewal. I think you mentioned it a little bit earlier. The idea that so many parishes and churches are merging or closing, and now some are staying open, thanks to Vatican overrule, basically. Right. But what will happen in the future? This Pope in particular knows the problems of churches in America. Obviously that doesn't come without controversy. That doesn't come without a lot of eyebrow raising, especially when it comes to that sex scandal that we know directly affected Western New York. So what is the impact moving forward now, knowing that there's a Pope from our home country in the Vatican, maybe with America's problems front and center? It's
been interesting so far, and it's not even been 24 hours yet, just to learn about the person that he is. And, we'll learn more about what he wants to do, what he wants to accomplish, his views and things like that. But people are saying, he just has a gentle soul, and that he has, a calmness about him. Mm-hmm. He's very, soft-spoken, mild-mannered guy. And people are like, he's perfect for the job.
This is an interesting question. Why are the men priests, popes, cardinals, why do they live in these huge fancy places and the nuns are living in small spaces? Sorry if I'm wondering not right. Nuns seems like servants to me, and I grew up in a Catholic household.
And that's the whole question about, even women becoming priests, right? Well, I would love to see that happen one day and just kind of be more progressive and advance that further. And I think that's a really valid question, Barb. You want to see more for everyone who's Catholic, everyone in the Catholic Church, and maybe we can get there.
Danielle says, need to find a way to bring young people back to the church, and maybe this is it. James, this is a very special feeling for all in North America, regardless of someone's faith. People in South America felt the same way with Francis, as well as Germany for Benedict. It means a lot when the person is from our home.
Yes,
I agree 100%.
Great way to put it.
When you hear the words and you see the American flag, you understand again that this is not out of reach. Somebody is just it's one of us.
One of us.
Right?
I love it. I just think it feels very cool. First thing I did, I saw it. My friend texted and was like, it's an American Pope. And I was like, no way. I didn't think there was an American Pope that was in the running. I didn't see anything about that.
There were a couple,
and
several.
Then, there was some, but not him. I didn't think he was gonna. I didn't think he was gonna get it. So then I called my dad, and he's like, "What? An American Pope?" I'm like, "Yes, Dad is an American Pope." Oh my God! It was just, and then I heard someone. He was at work. Someone came in and shared the news. It was such an exciting moment. I mean, you're seeing his history, happen unfold in front of us.
Lori says those churches that I mentioned, the ones that the Vatican is kind of studying, are only temporarily remaining open as they study the closing more. Okay, well, you know what? At least it's a brief reprieve. It's something. And it gives, I'm sure, these parishes hope
and momentum
for the future. Right, exactly. And, it's kind of like a little bit of a silver lining that the Vatican is taking a look at it, because for so long, I think that there was just so much angst and a lot of confusion among these churches and parishes.
It's a chance. It's a chance to try to stay open, or even just a new beginning, right? Yeah. Even if you do merge or something else happens and you have to find a new church home, I wonder if this helps just reinvigorate you and keep you going. There was a lot of energy. I'm watching, people react from all over the world and, in America. And you're seeing, some of the memes and stuff on Twitter about, him being from Chicago and playing the songs and like, oh, he saw Michael Jordan be a bull and now he's the Pope. I just think it's exciting and it brings a lot of positivity. And it was a fun time to watch, especially in Washington.
What do you think happens to those Cardinals who are in the running, who are like, dang, wasn't elected?
Next time.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
I have so many questions. But, you're right. To be a fly on the wall, that must be insane. Okay, let's talk briefly in the last couple of minutes about this crazy video that's been seen all around Facebook of this Cheektowaga road rage incident that unfortunately led to some awful racial slurs. We were talking about this yesterday on Second Cup, but then this morning, we're kind of learning some more information and some new details about what exactly happened. And it really shows that neither one of these two parties were in the right.
And I think that's what happens with a road rage incident, right? We're all sharing the road together. We're supposed to be the city of good neighbors. We're not supposed to get into these disagreements and this back and forth. And we got the woman's side of the story, the one who was behind the camera.
Adriana Jemison is her name.
Yes. We got her story yesterday, and we were sharing her voice this morning. And she was explaining what went on. She was very open and transparent about the situation. She was like, he came up next to me in my car. She said that, she was not necessarily in the right. She wasn't in the best mood.
She said
she was
he
very
was
angry.
horning her. He was laying on the horn.
She was, throwing up the finger and
said F you, basically.
And then it escalates from there. And she says that he laid hands on her daughter. And the daughter says, I was scared in that moment. She follows him home. And then that's the moment that ensues right after.
And then, so he's been charged. He's been arrested, facing a number of charges, including endangering the welfare of a child. Mm-hmm. She set up a GoFundMe. I mean, even though she admits she's in the wrong, she's looking for help from the community to raise money for a lawyer. She threw change at the guy's car, and one thing led to another. And obviously, again, there's no one in the right here. You can't ever. There are so many words in the dictionary.
Yeah.
You never use a racial slur like that.
To be fair, we did speak to him as well, and he declined to comment. So we're trying to get both sides of the story here. As Parker's Pitt says, there's his story, her story, and then the truth.
Thank you.
We're trying to get all three of those things if we can. So we'll have to see what happens.
Meantime, he's lost his job in addition to facing those charges. So there's that. And also, maybe in the last minute, what we'll do here as we wait for Josh to
do the weather.
Yeah, and also, can we just make sure that his mic is on for the folks in the back? Can we make sure Josh's mic is linked in here so that everyone can hear? Let's pause so that he could do traffic and weather. No? Or do we not have Josh's mic?
I don't know. If
okay, well, he's doing traffic right now. Maybe we'll
they probably can't, because he's in there. They probably can't hear him. Oh, no, he's got back in here.
Right now we are at 41 degrees
here. I'll go stand over there so that you can hear him.
Pretty good morning lows that we're deep down into the 30s. Down to 32 degrees in places like East Aurora, also in Lockport. And we're looking at 45 right now in the Falls, 44 in Dunkirk, 41 in Jamestown, and 36 in Olding. There's the view from space. We do have clouds here back to our east, but from basically Orleans, Genesee, and Wyoming County points west, we've got sunshine to talk about here for this morning, and we'll see a few of those clouds maybe developing into parts of western New York going into the afternoon. Northeasterly breezes will keep us on the cool side. The normal high temperature right around now at this point in the game in May, right around the mid-60s. So yes, this is cool, but don't forget the shade stepping out the door. That sun angle is strong right now, and you also need the sunscreen as well if you're going to be out for any period of time, given just how high that sun angle is. Coming up for tonight, we'll see intervals of clouds and moonlight. And by the way, that is the nearly full flower moon that we'll find. The overnight low temperature at 39. There's your super 7-day forecast, mostly sunny for your day on Saturday, 64. For your top 10, Mother's Day looks delightful with wall-to-wall sunshine. High temperatures will be into the mid-60s. Might be a little bit cooler near the lakes. And guess what? We've got a shot at 80 degrees coming up, heading into next week by Tuesday. Next chance for maybe a few showers, not till Wednesday.
All right, so maybe in our last minute, what we can do is acknowledge the moms who
Mother's
are
Day.
Celebrating this weekend, because Mother's Day is Sunday.
Yes.
So we want to acknowledge Gina, Jan, and all the other moms who
Yes.
often join us here on
There's a
Second Cup.
beautiful collage, a picture of our Good Morning Buffalo family and our moms. And I love to see Katie, our new mom here, with her little Logan. And
Both of
Bandit,
her
course,
sons.
made it. Yes, both of her sons.
Well,
made it.
Paul's not in the picture.
Well,
but.
Bandit was not going to be missing this picture, I'll tell you that.
Gina right there on the top. Jan right there on
Anna's
the right.
in the middle. Our producer Jordan, her mom. Mel on the bottom.
You doing anything
Really-
fun for your mom?
You know, she might be watching, so.
Okay. Well, we're going to brunch on Sunday. So we wish all of the moms a happy Mother's Day. Hope that you have nothing but sunshine.
Happy
and
Mother's Day. Enjoy.
relaxation. We'll see you Monday. Have a great day.